We're going to be moving to the next session, and this one is by Godson Njoku. He will be speaking to us about yacht shaving in the open when doing the work isn't the work. I don't know, like, the title sounds very exciting.
Hello everyone. This is very nice. Alright, good day. Thank you all for coming for this talk. Fixing numbers. Yes. Okay, yeah, I'm there. So, welcome everyone. My talk is a very, very specific, unique niche talk. And I'm very sure you're curious, what does it mean by yak shaving? Is that what? Okay, let me try to. What does it mean by yak shaving? Eunice has constantly hounded me because she's making a video. And I have Daniel over here, so I'll just quickly go into it. Okay, cool. How many of us have seen, can you please click on the GIF? How many of us watched Malcolm in the Middle when we were growing up? Sure boy. Who watched Malcolm in the Middle? I only have one show boy. Trying to see it now as an adult. I'm rewatching it, it's about 7 seasons. So it's taking time. Can you please click on the GIF? It's not playing. Wow. That was supposed to explain everything. But yak shaving basically is when you set out to do one particular thing and you find a roller coaster of more things to do, so you could get that initial thing you started done. So I'll give you a very good instance. You want to get your laundry done, and you have to go pull out your laundry from where it is, sort it out, separate the whites from the color. Okay, good. And finally, you get it washed. When it's all said and done, you put it outside, dry, the whole night before you have clean clothes to wear. That is basically yak shaving. Is everyone clear? Lovely. Alright. Anyways, I'm about to introduce myself. My name is Godson Njoku. Most people call me Godspeed. You can find me on social media at @Sage_Godspeed. For the most part, I'm a kitchen supervisor. What that means basically is that I help people cook. Yeah, so I work mostly along the intersect of products, so that's product management, product design, quality assurance testing, or engineering, depending on where you are. Where am I here? Okay, yeah, I'm there. I currently co-organize GDG Enugu. I think Precious is around here. She's my co-organizer, as well as Daniel. I came in yesterday, but my folks are domiciled in Lagos. For the most part, I love the internet. It's because of the internet that many of us are in this room, and I love creative art and motorsport. Alright, so moving on. Basically, everything in engineering, software development, product design is basically engineering chaos or complexity, as you might call it. Everyone sets out to improve an already existing process and make it better for the best of everyone. So there's always a new idea, there's always a new approach. But how feasible is that approach? To what extent are you reinventing the wheel instead of redesigning? Because at the end of the day, the wheel is a proven theory and concept. You can just make it better instead of attempting to go redraw the cycle. Yeah? And over-engineering is basically what brings about yak shaving, because someone sets out to go redo everything from the scratch, as opposed to taking what was already working and stripping it down to its core and just maybe improving it and making it slightly better. If you check at the end of today, your core things that you own are things that are just maybe slightly more complex. And I'm not a big fan of complex. I like to strip things down to processes and just informing. But most people like the ability to complicate things, you know, how to make it look better than it is. But in all honesty, you're more or less confusing your users, you're confusing your contributors, your teammates, as opposed to just going straight there. Yes, it might work for the flair of marketing, but to be very honest, at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. Are we all cool? Yeah. Is everyone getting me? Yeah. Lovely. Alright, so when doing the work isn't the work, it's basically me telling you that busy doesn't mean you are actively being productive. You understand? You could have a full-on Trello board or a chalk board, depending on whatever you're using, but nothing is going into fraud. Nothing is getting in the hands of customers. Nobody is solving that problem. But you people are having meetings, you are having conversations, but nothing is getting done. And because of you're unable to prioritize and think clearly and simplify these things, you are stuck in an endless loop. And yeah, you're more or less bringing up your shaving. And as you maintain now a contributor, what the question you should always ask yourself, am I bringing value? Am I making things unnecessarily complicated? Am I simplifying things? Is the end user or the end goal being achieved by whatever I set out to do? Are we all cool? Lovely. Anything outside that is just a distraction, it's just a flare, it's smoke and mirrors, it is not productivity. No matter how you choose to disguise it. Alright, so how to improve your workflow? I think these slides, there's a bit.ly at the end, so you can always go check out these resources, they are all linked. But basically, I have 5 key things that you should do, so in order to assess what you are doing to be sure that you're actually not achieving and you're being productive. First thing is impact over effort. This is something that we do in product management. Always looking for where value is most applied. Whether it's to the business, whether it's to the shareholders, whether it's to the actual customers who are paying either by time or attention, you must always have impact, right? And if this can also be applied to open source, regardless of how we come out at the end of the day and say it's free, but to be honest, it's people's time and effort going into it, so it's not exactly free. So you need to follow one of 2 things, either the Agile Manifesto or the Lean Principles. We hear about Agile all the time, but it's very, very time and trusted. And it was put together by a group of people who you could also consider an open source set of contributors here. Definition of done. Most product teams struggle with what is their definition of done. To be very honest, the goal there at the end of the day is, what can I use to conclude and say that I have achieved what I have set out to do? In the case of the analogy I gave at the beginning, which is laundry, my definition of what laundry is done is that I have clean, pressed clothes that smell nice and I have no issues. Anything outside this, my laundry is not done. Can we agree on that? Yeah. Lovely. Alright, so that time boxing. If we are stuck in an infinite loop, then we are not making any progress. We are just wasting time. And time is the most precious thing because you can never roll it back. Maybe in the future we might have time travel, who knows? And most when you get in here. No? All is well. Are we all good? Yeah, so always try and time box things so you make the best use of your time, because regret is the worst thing you can have. You're not making the best use of your time. Yeah, and you could check out the resource from Basecamp, because Basecamp brings about productivity software for teams to learn about how they use cycles to time box things. Yeah, so value check. The ability for you to simplify things is what I refer to as the Goldilocks principle. So basically, how simple can things get? You understand? The first instance of PPT slides was the ability for someone to always click their keyboard. Someone said that can be a simple process. And they brought around a clicker. And from there, the clicker has gotten very simplified that it's just a couple of buttons and everything just works. Would you agree with me? Yeah. Lovely. Alright, so the last thing we have on it is pair reels. So always be in alignment with your team and make sure that everything you set out to do works with everyone. Don't take a single decision by yourself, because community is all about the multitude than the single person, which is basically open source at its core. Alright, perfect is the enemy of shift. There's no such thing as perfection. You have what is accurately working and great. Yeah. Key takeaways: avoid dead ends. Design before you rebuild, put quality ahead of ego, and apply effort where it delivers value the most. Shift first, optimize data. Are we all cool? Yeah. Big shout out to Precious. She gave me this couple of resources. I don't work in open source directly. I work in the standard capitalism. So, but all of this, yes, I'm dripping my money. I will not lie. So. Basically, you could check out this, and there are lovely stuff from Rich and Emily around community and open source and structuring things, so everything delivers value. And thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Follow me, and that's the link to the slide should you need to get access to the resources. Tululu.
Thank you so much, Godson. Thank you so much. So, question. Yeah.
I didn't expect questions. All right.
Hi, Godson. Thank you for the talk. It was really good. So my question is, in reference to doing volunteer work in open source communities, and how things can stall, right? Because then you're not paying them to do this work.
Of course.
People get busy, and how do you approach as a maintainer, as a leader? How do you approach, avoiding
The deadlines of people.
Yes.
Alright, so just like you have been in community organizing for like the last 9 years, I think, since like 2016, so that's like since uni. And when it comes to getting people to do the work that is necessary when it comes to community organizing, I think it stems first from the individual itself. If someone is not selfless enough, they shouldn't be found here, regardless of how the titles sound, regardless of how the pump and pressure treat. So it starts from the individual, but also as someone who is trying to get people to do stuff, you go into them to keep systems in place for things. So directives, templates, and also a clear cut-out job board. What is this person supposed to do? Who is delegated? If the person runs into an issue, who should they escalate that issue to? If there's no one to escalate, you have the expertise. And also rewards can be figured out. It might not necessarily be monetary, but you can figure it out. I love money, so I'm raising money. So, but regardless, at the end of the day, it's just about how you make that person's experience feel in relativity to like their daily life, because everybody is busy. So every time I organize stuff with Danielle and Precious, I tell them that whilst this is free, people are paying with their time, because that time could be pushed into something productive or with family. So how much can we make it worth their efforts for the time to take out of their hands? Does that answer your question? Lovely. Last question. Okay, I've succeeded in what I want to do, which is to forget. I'm a younger brother. Set me up. So I'm being set up by family. That's my youngest brother. Yeah. Oh, I'll set you up back now.
When you spoke about peer values, what about when people have different mindsets about a thing in the project and they keep arguing about it and end up missing the deadline?
Okay, interesting. Very good question. So the hardest thing to come across when you are working in a large crowd of people is consensus. Consensus is basically agreement. And it all stems back, or it falls back to what I defined earlier, which is the definition of done. What is the outcome we are looking to do? And if any of the things that we are trying to get here with is not getting to that outcome called definition of done, then there is an issue. Now, everybody will still get a principle that brings us to the definition of done. Then you fall back on the Goldilocks principle, which is what is the easiest and most economical version of doing that thing. You get? There are two ways to open a door. You open it with the key, or you can stomp it in. The key is the easiest one. Stomping it in will work, but with the door work afterwards. So that's basically how you get consensus. But if you people can still find consensus, then the best man win. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Please keep clapping.